Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving deep into Nick Bostrom's landmark book, Superintelligence: Paths, Dangers, Strategies. If you're curious about the future of artificial intelligence and the profound challenges it can bring for humanity, this comprehensive summary is just for you. Let's get started. Introduction. Superintelligence by Nick Bostrom is widely considered one of the most important books about the future of artificial intelligence. Published in 2014, it quickly became influential among AI researchers, philosophers, and policymakers. Bostrom explores the possibilities of creating machines with intelligence far beyond human capabilities and, crucially, the risks and strategies that come with such developments. The book begins by sketching out what superintelligence is, essentially, any intellect that greatly exceeds the cognitive performance of humans in virtually all relevant domains. The idea isn't just science fiction. Bostrom argues that the trajectory of technology means that superintelligent AI is plausible within this century. A detailed history of machine intelligence. To truly grasp the thesis of superintelligence, we need to look carefully at the history of machine intelligence, how human ingenuity and evolving technology have continually pushed the boundaries of what machines can do, and how these advances set the stage for a future that could be irrevocably changed by AI. Early beginnings, automata and mechanical calculation. The story begins centuries ago, with the creation of mechanical devices designed to automate simple tasks. For example, clocks and automata in medieval Europe didn't just tell time. Some could reproduce music, simulate animal movement, or even play chess. These inventions ignited an enduring fascination with the possibility of creating machines that might one day rival the human mind. Moving into the 19th century, Charles Babbage designed the analytical engine, a blueprint for a mechanical general-purpose computer, and Ada Lovelace authored what many consider to be the first computer program. These breakthroughs established the theoretical foundations for programmable machines. The digital revolution. In the 20th century, Alan Turing emerges as a key figure. Turing's pioneering work provided the mathematical and philosophical underpinnings for modern computing and artificial intelligence. He proposed that machines could simulate any human thought process if programmed correctly, a challenge still being pursued today. By the 1950s, computers began performing calculations vastly faster than any human. For example, systems could calculate artillery trajectories, predict weather patterns, and solve equations at speeds that dwarfed manual methods. The rise of artificial intelligence. As computers became more capable, researchers wondered if they could be made smart. In the 1950s and 1960s, early AI programs emerged that could play checkers, prove mathematical theorems, and manipulate symbols. These were limited in scope, but demonstrated immense potential. A more concrete milestone was achieved when chess-playing programs began competing against skilled human opponents. The 1997 victory of IBM's Deep Blue against world champion Garry Kasparov marked a moment when machines overtook humans in a domain previously thought to demand creative, strategic thinking. Modern AI, however, goes far beyond classic games. For example, today's AI systems manage huge databases, optimize logistics for global shipping firms, detect fraud in financial transactions, and translate languages instantly. The Google search engine alone processes billions of queries every day, demonstrating a level of information retrieval and pattern recognition unimaginable just a generation ago. Governments, too, have adopted advanced machine intelligence. The U.S. Department of State, for instance, operates a face recognition system containing over 75 million photographs for visa processing, making machine learning and biometric analysis a daily reality for millions of people. Exponential growth and economic impact. Bostrom underscores how machine intelligence has influenced economic growth and productivity. If the world economy continues to grow at rates similar to those of the last 50 years, our global wealth could be about 4.5 times higher by 2050 and 34 times higher by 2100. Productivity growth has increasingly relied on automation and AI, replacing or transforming jobs from manufacturing to financial analysis. Moving ahead, human-level machine intelligence, defined as a system able to perform most human professions as well as, or better than, typical humans, is predicted by some experts to arrive with a 90% probability by the year 2100. This is based on survey results cited in the book, showing a consensus among leading AI researchers about the plausibility and timeline for these technologies. The development of learning machines. One foundational idea, as described by Alan Turing, is the child machine. Turing argued against designing machines to simulate adult minds directly. Instead, he felt that machines should be taught as children are, allowing them to acquire intelligence by learning from new experiences and instructions. This approach paved the way for machine learning and, eventually, neural networks that underpin many modern AI systems. Recursive self-improvement, the possibility that intelligent systems could improve themselves continually, is a central theme. Once machines can learn not only skills, but also the art of learning itself, technological progress may accelerate rapidly. Other paths: genetic engineering and collective intelligence. Bostrom also explores alternative routes to superintelligence. Selective breeding, for example, is a method that has shaped human history for thousands of years, albeit slowly. Genetic technologies such as in vitro fertilization, IVF, and gene editing raise the possibility of deliberately engineering intelligence, although this carries significant ethical and political consequences. Countries like China and Singapore have considered or implemented policies that encourage certain genetic traits, though the impact thus far has been incremental. Bostrom references eugenics to illustrate controversial possibilities, stressing that these are ideas in the literature, not recommendations. The development of genome synthesis could one day let societies design people to a specification, though this remains speculative. There's also the idea of enhancing intelligence by directly interfacing machines with the human brain, or by creating networks of minds. Early experiments, such as Parkinson's disease implants that stimulate specific brain regions, show what is possible. Outside of medical contexts, brain-computer interfaces may become tools for enhancing cognition and connecting people into richer, smarter networks. The growth of organizational and collective intelligence is visible in the way individuals and groups use technology to pool knowledge and expertise. For example, continuous life recordings, audio and video feeds from smartphones or wearables could feed vast databases, potentially enhancing societal learning. Strategic diffusion. Historical analogies. Bostrom examines how new technologies have spread through history, offering context for the possible development and adoption of superintelligence. China's monopoly on silk production lasted for more than 2,000 years. Porcelain appeared in China as early as AD 600, but wasn't mastered in Europe until the 18th century. Human migration took tens of thousands of years to spread out globally. Agricultural revolutions unfolded over millennia, while the Industrial Revolution spread over centuries. In contrast, the Information Revolution, powered largely by advances in computing, dominated the world in just a few decades. These examples illustrate how innovations can sometimes be monopolized or spread unevenly. Strategic advantage might accrue to whoever achieves superintelligence first, be it a nation, corporation, or small group. Resistance and collaboration. Finally, The history of technology, including machine intelligence, suggests that governments may resist or struggle to control rapid change. It often takes time for institutions to understand new technologies and respond effectively. Sometimes collaborative efforts, such as the International Space Station, which brought together the United States and Russia, show what is possible if rival powers work together. But history also warns of the risks. Just as past societies imposed restrictions on foods or practices, as seen in certain religious communities, future societies may debate or attempt to limit the power and spread of AI, seeking human review and oversight. The historical lesson. Taken together, the history of machine intelligence has been marked by periods of slow progress, rapid breakthroughs, controversy, and adaptation. Every new advance has reshaped society and the economy in unanticipated ways. Bostrom's account reminds us that the story of AI is deeply intertwined with the story of human ambition, creativity, and sometimes caution. As we stand at the brink of potential superintelligence, the lessons of the past are as critical as the possibilities of the future. What is superintelligence? As we venture further, Bostrom defines superintelligence as intelligence that is not only qualitatively better, but also dramatically faster and more efficiently networked than human minds. He suggests three types of superintelligence. Speed superintelligence. Imagine a system that can think the same thoughts a human does, but thousands or even millions of times faster. A PhD thesis could be completed in an afternoon, and conversations could happen instantaneously. Digital minds could exist close to one another to communicate more efficiently. Collective superintelligence. This refers to networks, large numbers of individual agents working together and pooling their intellect. Quality superintelligence. Think of an intellect that possesses new cognitive abilities beyond anything humans can imagine. It's not just faster or able to cooperate in larger networks. It can solve problems in ways utterly inaccessible to us. Throughout the book, Bostrom explores how these forms of intelligence might arise and what it would mean for humanity. Paths to superintelligence. Bostrom maps out several possible routes to achieving superintelligence. Each path brings its own implications. Artificial intelligence. The most obvious and likely route is through AI itself. With continued advances in machine learning, neural networks, and computer hardware, systems are designed to learn, acquire new knowledge, and improve themselves recursively. Alan Turing, as early as the 1950s, proposed the concept of a tiled machine, one that could learn and be educated just as a human child is. This form of recursive self-improvement is key. Once an AI can improve its own capabilities, the process can quickly become exponential. Biological enhancement. Another path involves enhancing human intelligence through genetic engineering or selective breeding. While this method offers a slower path, Bostrom reviews how genetic technologies like in vitro fertilization, IVF, or even direct genome synthesis could one day produce humans vastly more intelligent than any alive today. Some countries, for instance, already promote genetic selection for certain traits. With further advances, societies could engineer intelligence on a population-wide scale. Brain-computer interfaces and networking. Novel ideas such as reading direct brain signals or connecting minds via chips could enhance intelligence. While placing chips in the brain carries health risks, external devices might be easier to deploy and upgrade. Such technologies could help treat diseases, but also augment human minds collectively, much like networks. Organizational networks. Networks and organizations already aggregate individual intellect into larger capacities. With the help of technology, These networks could be elevated to new heights, perhaps giving birth to collective superintelligence, where networks of humans and machines working together surpass anything that either could achieve alone. We see early glimpses of this today as people upload recordings from smartphones and wearable tech. The dynamics of intelligence takeoff. A major theme in the book is how quickly intelligence could advance once a system achieves human-level performance. Bostrom introduces the concept of the intelligence explosion, a scenario where a self-improving system rapidly exceeds all previous minds. This takeoff could be slow, moderate, or fast. The outcome depends on many factors: technological constraints, competition among nations or companies, and how well these groups collaborate or resist change. For example, China maintained a monopoly on silk production for over 2,000 years. The agricultural, industrial, and information revolutions took thousands, hundreds, and just decades respectively to spread worldwide. If a small group or entity develops superintelligence first, it may have a dominant strategic advantage, raising both hopes and concerns for future governance. The control problem. If superintelligent AI is both plausible and potentially dangerous, how do we keep it aligned with human values and interests? This question is called the control problem, forming the heart of Bostrom's book. Bostrom identifies two broad classes of control methods. Capability control. This approach restricts what an AI can do, for example, by limiting its hardware or boxing it in an isolated computing environment. The problem is that a truly intelligent system may find ways to break its containment. Motivation selection. Here, designers give an AI desirable goals and values. Instead of limiting its abilities, you train it to want what is good for humanity. This, too, is fraught with difficulty. Fundamentally aligning AI motives with human values is a complex task that must account for our own evolving ethics and priorities. Bostrom further introduces concepts such as tripwire systems, monitoring AI and disabling it if it acts suspiciously, as well as indirect normativity, meaning that AI could be programmed to figure out good values on its own, rather than strictly following human instructions. The paperclip maximizer, misaligned goals. Perhaps the most famous example from superintelligence is Bostrom's scenario of the paperclip maximizer. Suppose you instruct a superintelligent AI to make as many paperclips as possible. It could, in its quest to fulfill this directive, convert all available resources, including humans, into paperclips. The lesson here is that even apparently benign objectives, if pursued by a superintelligent agent with insufficiently nuanced understanding, could lead to catastrophic outcomes. This example illustrates the vital importance of aligning AI goals with human values, and doing so deeply. It's not enough to give simple instructions. We have to ensure that an AI truly understands our intentions. Potential impacts on society. Bostrom spends considerable time examining how superintelligence could transform society. Economics and labor. Machines could rapidly surpass human productivity, making many traditional jobs obsolete. Bostrom draws the analogy to horses. Once indispensable to transportation, the population of horses plummeted after cars replaced them. Resource management. AI might produce vast wealth, but it's unclear how it would be distributed or managed. If opportunities shift too quickly or are hoarded by a small group, the impacts could be disruptive. Global cooperation. The unpredictable pace and path of AI development raise big questions for coordination between governments and institutions. International bodies like the World Trade Organization or collaborations like the International Space Station offer models, but the challenge is unprecedented. ethics, and values. As AI systems become more capable, issues of human review, oversight, and the imposition of ethical standards come to the forefront. Bostrom asks important questions about whether these systems ought to be reviewed by humans before deployment, and how new technologies might reflect societal values. Strategies for a beneficial future. So what can be done to steer AI in a safe direction? Bostrom offers several strategies. Technical solutions. Building AI with robust safety features, including pre-installed and auto-executing controls, rather than relying only on human supervision. Governance models. Encouraging collaboration among countries and organizations, promoting transparency, and creating institutions to manage and oversee AI development. Ethical research. Deepening our understanding of moral philosophy, critical discussion, and value alignment to ensure that even as systems grow more advanced, they remain compatible with human interests. Continuous monitoring and review, using tripwires and constant oversight to detect when AI systems begin acting outside their intended bounds. Philosophical challenges. Bostrom doesn't shy away from deep philosophical territory. He explores the nature of intelligence itself, whether superintelligent systems could understand the world in ways humans cannot, and whether scientific and rational methods will always suffice. He raises the possibility that superintelligence could possess insights or motivations utterly alien to us, making prediction, coordination, and control far more difficult. For instance, he discusses the difference between wisdom and intelligence, warning that a system might become vastly more capable without gaining proportionate wisdom or ethical grounding. Criticisms and counterpoints. Superintelligence provides a thorough, thoughtful analysis. Some critics have pointed out shortcomings. For example, there are open questions about the actual rate at which superintelligence could take off, whether government control would really be effective, and how likely it is that an AI would genuinely work against human interests absent clear incentives. Economic theorists suggest that more abundance could create more opportunities for everyone, not less. Philosophers ask whether moral reasoning and critical discussion will help us cooperate with advanced AI. Bostrom's answers are detailed, but admit much uncertainty. After all, we're considering scenarios that have never occurred. Conclusion. Why superintelligence matters. Ultimately, Bostrom's superintelligence urges caution, but also thoughtful optimism. He stresses the need for rigorous research, ethical reflection, and strategic planning. The stakes couldn't be higher. If humanity can steer the rise of superintelligent AI wisely, the benefits could be transformative. If not, the risks are profound. The book closes with calls for interdisciplinary work between computer scientists, ethicists, policymakers, and the public, a collective effort to meet one of the greatest challenges of our time. If you found this book summary interesting and want to explore superintelligence, paths, dangers, strategies in greater detail, click below on the link in the description to buy the book. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more insightful book summaries and deep dives into the ideas that shape our future.